Buenos dias and good morning to you, dear senor, senora, and senorita. This message comes to you from the heart of dawn. Well, I had an interesting call yesterday. One of my new clients, uh, I did some work with her and her husband. This is Tuesday, so Sunday evening actually, because they were struggling big time, and they immediately went into their light. And then the next morning, yesterday morning, I got a text. Good morning, soul. So nice to see you, my dear. Love your updates. We need to find a way that they get published on a bigger scale, so that others see how magnificent you're doing. Anyway, coming back to this client that called me yesterday and said that she had this vision right after we worked together. She had this clear vision. It was like her 18-year-old daughter, and that and the message said, call 911, call 911, call 911, it's emergency. And so she reached out to me and told me that her daughter had been talking about death and dying and no hope and all of the very depressed and all of these symptoms. And I said, listen, don't you dare waste a moment. Do whatever you can to get her to chat with me, and we'll go from there. And so she, Adriana just walked in the door, and her mom said, "Here's someone you want you to talk to." Now that's not quite the way I like to be introduced to somebody, but hey, you got to take as it comes. And anyway, here is this startlingly, amazingly powerful 18-year-old that hasn't got a clue in the world how beautifully powerful she is, and has no idea how to deal with the power inside. And now she's this depressed and sad and yeah, just all of the symptoms of suicide, all of the symptoms. And just so you know, uh, that was on the decision I made to 41 years ago, over 41 years ago, uh, to quit drinking was the drunk that I was on the night before, and the big fight and screaming and yelling with my wife and children and whatever. And it's like I was going to commit suicide. There was no hope. There was no winning. And then something happened. A miracle happened. Someone called, and anyway, uh, that's another story. But the point is, I know what that's like. I used to be depressed for 3 months and come out for a couple of weeks and go back in for another 3 months. And now I can't remember the last year. The last year I had that. Not even when both Rosie and my wife and Shelley, my daughter, died within 15 months of each other. Even at that, it didn't enter my system. And so coming back to this Adriana, oh my God, I could tell immediately. I could see her superhero powers. And so we'll see what the decision is today. But I know she would do magically amazing in this process. And imagine that. Imagine all the teenagers out there that are uh, suicidal having an answer. This Adriana had done a lot of things. She tried medication, she went to counselors, she went to therapy, she did all of these things, and none of them worked. None of them worked. None even came close. And so, anyway, I sure look forward to hearing what the mother has to say about her decision, about her beautiful daughter taking this process. I do trust it's a yes. Because it's this, I can just see these superpowers, these superhero powers inside her that are not being used. Imagine, just imagine the number of teenage suicides uh, in the country, in the like happening, not having, not, I know how it works. I was there. I've helped many, many, many people with that program. It's like there's no future, no future. And that's it. If you ask anyone that has suicide, ask them what their future looks like. And there isn't one. No, there is not one. And that's the one where you need to uh, shift the programming. And the soul knows how quickly it is, can happen. And teenagers are even that much quicker and receptive, that much quicker and receptive. And I remember, I worked with a whole group of, they were, 18 to 21-year olds. And one of them was, her mother died when she was, her mother died when she was 31 or 2 or something. And this lady, this teenager, had a program that's when she was going to die as well. So you see it, this all set up. Imagine pulling that out and finding out how ridiculous it is, and the way the ego has of twisting a storyline. And that's what it is. It's like the ego wants to stay alive. You've given it the power to do that by creating it to begin with, and it wants to stay alive. And it will do everything it can to make it look like it's trying to protect you. It will even convince you that dying is a way to best thing for you. That's how toxic the ego is. So it's going to do everything it can to protect you from dying by finding multiple ways of killing you. Why? Because it's like the 2-year-old that you've given the keys to the car to drive, and it is trying to drive. Well, it can't. Its best day as a 2-year-old trying to drive a vehicle will mean it might get 5 feet, maybe even 15 feet before it crashes into something or somebody. And so it's this ego inside that we've created that's not even who we are. It's an illusion of who we think we are. And it is going to do everything it can to protect you by finding multiple ways of killing you. And I literally had 28 near-death experiences, eight of them being like nanoseconds away. Like, just how did I survive that? How did I survive going in excess of 120 mile an hour, and the vehicle I was in, a half-ton truck with two other guys, flip over on its side and spin as it's going down the highway, 3 telephone poles, okay, with me on the door waiting for the door to be torn off and me go next. Okay, that was at 16, at age 16. And when it stopped, when the vehicle stopped finally, the windshield was out, the three of us jumped out, and the guy in the middle had a scratch, not a cut, a scratch on his forehead. That was it. And just so you know, the driver of the vehicle, his brother, and 2 others were all killed a year earlier in a similar accident. Now, tell me, okay? So, I know what it's like to be that close to death, and I know what it's like to be fully alive. And it is unbelievably awesome what it's like to be fully alive. And soul that's on this call is enjoying that every day. And coming back to Adriana, imagine her with no future, totally depressed, highly suicidal, constantly thinking about death, becoming fully alive in a couple of hours. And that's what I'm talking about. Imagine all of these kids with all these superhero powers that don't even know they have them, don't know how to access them, and don't know how to use them. Imagine finding out all of that in a couple of hours and being released from the toxicity and freedom of that toxic ego energy, and to be egoless, like happened with Tim on December 31st, and many like Soul since. I believe we're up to about 20 that are egoless, literally egoless, not a negative thought happening. And if they do have one, it's right back again. So there you have it. There's no such thing as hopelessness and despair. The only thing is, how do I find my light? How do I find it? And it's not through the intellect. No, it's not an intellectual process. No, that's not it. And then remember this, that all of those programs, all of those symptoms, all of them happened in 1 second from one event. And they all just got wider and bigger and thicker and all of that since. So there you have it. I trust that the mother will reach out today, and I'll have another story to tell you that is magnificently beautiful. But that's not up to me. So take care, and remember, this Saturday at 11 o'clock Mountain Standard Time is the actual transformation in Spanish of the I Am Divinity Instant Permanent Transformation. Now you need to see this last Saturday's call, and you need to see two others that are on Facebook, and to get ready, to be best ready for this Saturday in Spanish. And you need to do the exact same for this Sunday in English. They're both at 11 o'clock Mountain Standard Time, and they're actually the actual transformation that soul that is watching here right now took, I believe, about a month ago. It would be about a month ago, coming up to a month now. That soul had in that, and she never looked back, not even once. Had a few glitches, and but kept her light. That's you can't get more miraculous than that. So there you have it, and I trust that this is beneficial for you to watch. And if there is someone, and before I used to say people with terminal illness, and they've been given their last nocebo, you got 3 weeks or you got 2 months or it's stage 4 and there's no hope and there's nothing we can do and all of that bullshit. There is an answer. Just like there's an answer for the teenager that's suicidal, like Adriana. You're damn right there is an answer. There's a gigantic instant answer. Yes. So whether it's someone with a terminal illness or someone that's suicidal, any and all of those symptoms, they're all symptoms. That's all they are. Symptoms of someone not being in their light. So there you have it. Have a magnificent day. And until we meet again, from the heart of dawn, as we head towards our dawn of humanity. Bye for now.